What's going on? What the going on, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Understand? Do you dig me when you feel me, and do you feel me when you dig me? You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what kind of day this gonna be. I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do with my intro. I said, you know what? I'm gonna just do what I normally do, I guess, and just get my wing on. You know what I'm talking about? Cause I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. So I spin that shit. Hey, spin that shit. Hey, spin that shit. Hey, spin that shit. You know what I'm talking about? Cause where all my scamming ass niggas at? Huh? You know what I'm talking about? Gucci, Louis, full-time bag. Cause that's what some of them Goyard bags look like. They look like you know what I'm saying, them dollar store forever and bags, you know what I'm talking about? Already with the already. I did me a little 2 minutes spin off minute and a half or so. We ain't finna hold y'all up. We're gonna get straight to these antics so we can find us something to do. Ain't nothing wrong with talking about what's going on when it's going on. You know what I'm talking about? Already with the alreadys. Shout out to Adrian Broner's brother. I guess these last 2 days or so, Adrian Broner's brother been on the podcast. It was cool to see your twin. I imagine, you know what I'm talking about, made for good content. And at the end of the day, it shows your wholesomeness, you know what I'm saying, to help out those who are less fortunate than you. You know what I'm saying? But that's why niggas gotta be fans instead of fanatics. You know what I'm saying? I learned that it's been a difference as of late. You know what I'm saying? People don't know the definition, so they don't understand who they are. You know what I'm talking about? That's why it's easier. It's easy to lead, but it's hard to, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to lead, but it's hard to feed them, ain't it? Yeah, you can make a motherfucker see the water, see the image, and still tell them to take a sip and they'll be afraid. You don't know what they gonna do to the image. You know what I'm talking about? But I be saying all that to say a lot of the things that go on when it come to motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Taking a side out of things. You know what I'm talking about? But I told you this was coming. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people be in there like trees, man. You know what I'm saying? They got grass roots and they come from the ground. And you know, they grow leaves. And leaves supposed to come and leaves supposed to go. You know what I'm talking about? They ain't supposed to stay there forever. It just is what it is. Motherfuckers come in your life. Once they save it, don't fuck it up. They gonna come back. Or they gonna grow anew. You know, with some changes. We are changing. You know what I'm talking about? And not the original changing from Dreamgirls. You know what I'm saying? We are changing. You know what I'm saying? For real. But yeah, I seen it in the light, like, cause I just seen Adrian Broner, and he was he had to have a conversation with Young Dean. You know what I'm saying? And it was off the camera. And you know, as of all people, Ray J had to get the best footage. So after Adrian Broner decided to get his twin brother a haircut, Dean, you know what I'm saying, had some unkind remarks, if you will, or slide remarks. Uh, you know what I'm saying, and they kind of rubbed Adrian Broner the wrong way. Um, and they had to have a conversation, and that was the best way to do conversations like that, where you You know what I'm saying? Yo, you done took trolling a little too far. Let me see. Let me check your temperature and see where we at with the program. Cause you know, if you gon' if you, I understand that's how you are. But if that's how you gonna be, regardless to the fact, you know what I'm saying? At least give me forewarning. But you know, motherfucker don't understand that, and they want it to be as genuine as they can. But sometimes things ain't as genuine, you know, especially when you got somebody that's with the truth most of the time. They don't know when you pump fake it. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't know. I guess that's the youth of the day not being able to communicate. I'm pretty sure he can monologue. You know what I'm talking about? You set the setting up, hey, you could continue to grow. But what they said back in the day, you know, and that's for all young generations, even my own. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I kind of understood. So maybe I'm a little bit of an exception to a rule where I ain't gonna lie in the beginning, you know, they had to punish me in order for me to understand and listen. Cause I was being a knucklehead. But I don't know. Maybe it's cause once I started having children, I started understanding I wasn't responsible for just myself. You know what I'm talking about? And I guess that responsibility gave me a keen sense of, you know what I'm saying, life's ups and downs. You know what I'm talking about? You can't win all the time. Look at me. We almost 10 minutes in, and I'm still talking about Adrian Broner's brother and just the complicated relationships that come with. You know what I'm saying? When you bring a motherfucker in, they ain't can't really give you no dividends, can't give you no kind of ends, no kind of fun for the fun. You know what I'm talking about? Um, but I guess to each his own. We'll slowly see how this process works. But we gonna move along. You know what I mean? Uh, I also seen some. It was what I'm saying. I'm just giving you a little insight on how I work sometimes. I seen some that it made me think. You know what I'm talking about? And the remark go a little something like this. I'm paraphrasing. Um, a bird look weak underwater, just like a fish can't fly. But if you reverse it, you know what I'm saying? They move with grace, and that just made me think like niggas is not moving with grace these days, are they? You know what I'm talking about? It was just a quote I was looking at. I mean, it just what I'm saying. That's the type of mindset I be having when I hear things that made me think. You know what I'm talking about? Uh, this beautiful song. Shout out to Saucy Santana. It's definitely, I guess it's getting it's clicking on. You know what I'm talking about? It's a good song too. But you know what I'm saying? For people that don't embellish and you know what I'm saying, some read into things or even take them for face value, take them for what they were. However you want to look at it. The song is about a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, not knowing who they are. Um I heard a motherfucker say, listen, I ain't quiet on the creek, I'm loud on the river. I said, God damn. Fuck, he say, nigga, I ain't never been ashamed of my manhood. I am a heterosexual, okay? Shit. For real. Man. But it made me think, like, damn. I wonder how many motherfuckers in real life really think like that. Like, they think, like, I'm gonna be ashamed of myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lose. I'm a groove. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna have to understand that ain't no motherfuckers like me. No, and there's a bunch of motherfuckers like you. You know what I'm talking about? And I'ma just say men in its own right. They don't understand. And if they do understand, they don't be wanting to tell motherfuckers that they understand. They want to keep it as quiet as possible instead of revealing your feelings. But while we get here, we might as well talk about young Akon. You know what I'm saying? He said some shit that made me think too. You know what I'm saying? He was on some podcast. I don't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me the line, but the podcaster asked him, you know what I'm saying, basically what are man and woman put on this earth to do? And he said that men are on earth to manage and women are on earth to advise. And that was perfectly said. And then he continued on and stated, you know what I'm saying, I'm paraphrasing, you know, that's what I like to do. So see, he said on the man part, we gotta manage the world. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make sure everything, basically, our ducks are in a row. Our 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 T's are crossed and our I's are dotted. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be, you know what I'm saying, all we can be for real. You know what I'm talking about? I want motherfuckers to go listen to it. You know, excuse my language. I don't mean no offend or harm anymore. That's my disclaimer. I want people to go see it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm really paraphrasing. So you can go get the phrases. You know what I mean? And get your own understanding. And then he said, women are here to advise. They on the earth to advise. You know what I'm saying? Give peace to humanity. You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, I'm paraphrasing, but his quote was so good, I don't want to mess it up. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna just give you my understanding of the situation. You know what I'm saying? And basically, in a nutshell, men are on here on earth to manage, and women are on earth to advise. And that don't mean you can't be the breadwinner. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't what he said. You know what I'm talking about? So when you take them vows and it's rich or poor, sickness and health, look, you supposed to be his rich and his poor. I mean, you know, some people take it lightly and make you rich and then send you to the poorhouse, but you supposed to accept him as he is, as you are, and as you shall be. You know what I'm talking about? Already with the alreadys, but like I said, we're gonna move on to I seen some disturbing. I couldn't even pinpoint what it was. I knew it was male. I guess male. I think it's male from Wildin' Out. I guess she was in a situation. I don't know if it was over the weekend during last week sometime, but you went to the doctor, and then you know what I'm saying, from the statements, you ain't really want to make none. At least to one of the nurses. Then you talk to another one. I guess you know something happened to your drink. Promoters ain't treat you right. You know what I'm saying? You may or may have not been robbed and essayed. Yeah, you had an eventful situation, man. We need some further details. I know you ain't ready to give none up yet, but you know, before the internet run with it. You know what I'm talking about? For real, for real. Let's get to some like shout out to the Gordie Howe Bridge. I guess it got open over the weekend, which was this weekend that just passed. Um, yeah, Friday they gonna open up the bike trail. You feel me? That means you can walk across the bridge to Canada. I guess that's gonna be great. Shout out to the Gordy Hawk Bridge at the end of the day. Um, Shout out to Brittany Grinder. So I guess Brittany Grinder was in a gym somewhere. You know what I'm talking about? Somewhere in America. You feel me? She was at a gym. And she wanted to, I don't know, somebody probably got in her DM and she wanted to answer the question about, you know what I'm saying, the real body versus the fake body. And she was dancing in the parking lot and, you know what I'm saying, having her a whole yell full event. You know what I'm saying? She got her little rant on. And she was basically saying, you know what I'm saying, real bodies are better than doctor bodies. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't nothing we ain't already heard before. You know what I'm talking about? It was good for you to have a rant though. But yeah. And then what? You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to the family of Jackie O. Shout out to Jackie O. Shout out to DC Young Fly. But we seen what happens when, you know what I'm saying, you trying to get you a procedure done and things don't go the way you planned it. Not the way I planned it. You know what I'm talking about? But you ain't gonna understand. You know why? Because you wasn't that person. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And she ain't didn't not. She didn't say that. Oh, you shameful because you got one. I mean, if it makes you feel good and comfortable, then so be it, and so shall it be done. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga ain't never tripping on the doctor body. It just she was just stating that a real body is better than. I like natural. You know what I'm talking about? You know, ain't nothing wrong with the Barbie though. You feel me? You can go get you a Brazilian buttocks and go get your titties lifted and spread apart or whatever y'all do. You know what I'm talking about? Make you look good. Then hey, you feel good. No, that's a positive person in my book, and we need that in our life. I don't like people that get a procedure and then they act snobby. You know what I'm talking about? But I mean, I understand when it comes to the currency. When you get currency, sometimes they confuse a flow with power. You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, I can go into that too deeply, but I ain't. But yeah, they think of flow is power, so you know what I'm saying, they feed off that, and then you know what I'm saying, because they be thinking it's a river and it's really a lake, and when the lake run dry, they like, damn, I thought this was endless amounts of water. I thought I was gonna eat for. Nah, you was moving too fast. Then I didn't know when it was slowing down. You know what I'm talking about? And you had to go to the end of the lake to move the debris around so it can still flow. Now it done dried up. Now you might be walking for no reason because the water might be gone. Now that's no hint up there. You know what I'm talking about? I can use allegories all the way to the end of time, but I'm not. Where we at with it? Shout out to Erica. Shout out to Tasha K. This was a good enlightening interview. So I guess one of hold on. One of Charleston White's um ladies of the night decided to come and have an interview with Tasha K. And her name's Erica. And she's 41. And she cold. You know what I'm talking about? She ain't no spring chicken. And she was talking the way you supposed to be talking. She like, listen, I ain't doing much. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I could take me a nice little 22-year-old if that's what I want to do, but I had my fun. Basically, I had my run. You know what I'm talking about? Already with the already. I ain't trying to do much. She said she got Charleston White and she got her white man. And she is fine with that. You understand that? You understand me. Dig it when you dig it. And it's been dug. You know what I'm saying? 6 feet deep. Let's drop us rest in heaven looking ass. She hung the jersey up. Look, I'm chilling. I don't need much. And then she like, well, then Tasha K like, well, what's up with Charleston White? She's like, oh, Charleston's fine. He treats me like a lady. You know what I mean? Sweet lady, who's that lady? Pretty fine. Who's that lady? She say, Charleston White treat me like I'm a wife or like a woman's supposed to be treated. You know what I'm talking about? He don't treat me less than. You know what I mean? I guess you learn from the best. Charleston White say I treat you according to looking at. You feel me? And I know how white people, clear people are. Hey, he doing what? Listen, if it makes sense, baby, I'm with it. You know what I'm talking about? Already, I ain't roughing like no black fellas. You understand me? Uh, but shout out to Erica. Charleston White and the white man. Man, shout out to Big Gip. Uh, I'm gonna rearrange that because I want to talk about black businesses. So, we need to start supporting them. I don't know why we ain't. Or that was just something that came down my timeline to make sure I talk about it. But yeah, shit. We definitely need to support the people that be supporting, you know what I'm talking about, that need supporting, that hey, our community can't grow without, you know what I'm saying, you being involved. You on the dig already, you know what I mean? For real. And at the end of the day, I be looking, I'm like, damn, it's only black women that really wanna, you know what I'm saying, move around the town. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it ain't never been black man's ability to, you know what I'm saying, talk in front of, you know what I'm saying, adversity group of people. Black folks ain't never been like that. You know what I mean? And maybe that's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? We nigga can talk about it, but you know what I'm saying, being about it is different. Or a nigga can be about it, but can't hold the conversation. You damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I think that's just conditioning. You know what I'm talking about? I don't think it's built in you. You can get it up off you. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, you still probably have the anxiety and the anxiousness, you know what I'm saying, to get things done, and it might mess you up. You know what I mean? I don't think that's ever gonna go anywhere. But you can train yourself to have a perfect situation though. A eventful process, you know what I mean? But shout out to black business owners, you know what I'm saying? And just keep moving forward, you know what I'm saying? Especially the a lot of them videos be promising. You know what I'm saying? I heard a motherfucker just told me, well, I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna just say my experience is this. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. You shouldn't stop. Your time gonna eventually come. And please take advantage of it. Don't let that shit pass you by. Or you'll be here forever listening to me. And I ain't talking about nothing. Shout out to Big Gift and the family structure. I don't think we ever go. Remember family reunions? And if you don't know who Big Gipp is from Goody Mob. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta based group. You know what I'm saying? You can look them up. Everybody Googling or using AI generated information. So it is. But Big Gipp, yeah, we ain't gonna get back to the family reunion situation. We ain't gonna get back to Mississippi picking vines. You know what I'm saying? At 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Come in and your shorts was tan and now them bitches is black because of all the blackberries you done picked all morning. You know what I mean? Socks purple. You know what I'm talking about? For real, for real. You just bought them Nike socks from the dollar store. Bought you a little 6-pack. This was back in the day, mind you. Early 80s. You know what I'm saying? Early 80s, late 80s, depending on when you was born. You know what I'm saying? All the way up to like the mid 90s. I think niggas stopped picking just period, probably in like 96, 97. You know what I'm saying? People just got fed up at the end of the day. I mean, it messed up a little of the power structure, dude. I mean, just breaking up the home wasn't just the total packaging. You know what I'm saying? Like clear people learned that you just can't hit it in one area. You got to hit it in several areas in order for it to be effective. You know what I'm talking about? And you ain't got to do no big hit. You could do small increments. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Black people gonna be here forever. You know what I'm saying? Once they realize they can live 300 years, we got. I mean, this now. Shit, we gotta poison you when you drop down on the earth. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't need you destroying us. But that's no here nor there. I don't want to keep going. I done went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, y'all. All off Big Gip and the family structure. I don't think we're gonna get back to that family structure though, good brother. Shout out to you though. A 13-year-old good brother having a mindset. Now I seen this 13-year-old little brother, and he was getting his haircut, and he just began to speak on how he live his life and how it's according to what he got going on. You know what I'm saying? How his little brother like to listen to music instead of understanding the world, world news, period. And he was just stating that, you know what I'm saying, you need to do something that's gonna help you grow. And you don't need to be fixated on the word events all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't leading you nowhere. Kudos to you, good brother. I'm glad you got that mindset. Everybody, common sense ain't common to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you live like that, you're gonna be all right. Shout out to that good brother that was getting his haircut. You feel me? Um, I want to touch on this, and then we're gonna get up out of here. So no, I'm gonna touch on two things. So shout out to ACL A ALS and Chris Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, good brother. I told you we gonna talk about you until we can't talk about you no more. You know what I'm talking about? So shout out to ALS and Chris Johnson. Shout out to Nolan Wells. Nolan. They done got all kind of information. So the information is so vast, I don't want to hear the information no more. At the end of the day, you was on a boat, you was off a boat, your materials was found in the house where the boat was at. What are we doing? All these people that's coming to light, all this information. You even got Nancy Gray. You know this white woman don't do nothing if it ain't got a lot of coverage to it. So it made it international, and we still ain't got no understanding. It's Mississippi, and they gonna make it burn till they can't make it burn no more. It's 2026. We ain't gotta be making no big controversy and all this like it's something just hell of a going on. It's Mississippi. They live by common law rules. He was black. We hung his ass. My thing is this though. It's 2026, right? So my generation basically rules the world. Ain't none of them been through no slavery. Ain't none of them been through niggas running through the field. You know what I'm saying? Police used for what police originally was used for. They ain't went through none of this. So I'm trying to figure out why niggas still getting hung. Because now you ain't even bringing up nothing, nigga. This is your ideology. This how you really think. This how you perfect the world. That's what you was taught. This ain't about what you inherited no more. Well, I guess this is what you inherited. So this ain't about what you know. You know what I'm saying? This is about what you was taught. You know what I'm saying? You ain't see none of this firsthand. You going off recollections of another person. You feel me? So me personally, when you use other people's thoughts to get your point across, these was other people's thoughts. They wasn't originally your own. How do you really think? You feel me? And if it's continuously going on, I say for the last 5 years, then it's you. It ain't them no more. You eventually got to grow your own way of thinking. And then you figure in order for this to keep growing, you got to do this. But you being sloppy. Excuse me. Excuse me. Pardon me, y'all. You being sloppy. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it is. Ooh, wee. I mean, it made my eyes water. That went nothing wrong too, for sure. But when you being sloppy like that, you know what I'm saying? People can debunk your information, and when it's easily debunked, it's easily confused. The deception be real. It's a whole bunch to go with. Basically, what I'm saying is, you gotta do better. You know what I mean? You want to convince the world that you the vixen that you are, because other than that, niggas gonna keep punking you. You know what I'm saying? And that's already what the already is. You know what I'm saying? That might be. Look, I was talking about Nolan Wells, and look what rabbit hole I went down. But yeah, Nolan. Once we seen Nancy Grace pick it up, we knew this was crazy information. You know what I'm saying? That we ain't gonna be able to get a hold to no more. We got all the little famous people, you know what I'm saying, in tune with it. You feel me? You know what I'm talking about? And it's gonna take, you figure, they did the autopsy. Somebody gotta go to jail. You can't just keep not locking people up now. Cause it's gotta go through preliminary. Who you gonna examine if you ain't put nobody under arrest? Just questions I'll be trying to get answered. But I don't really care about the information at the end of the day. You know what I'm talking about? You went out with 4 people, you came back unalived. What are we doing? Like, I don't care if 100 people come and say they didn't do it. He left with 4 people and he came back unalived. If a clear person went out with 4 melanated individuals and he came back unalive, they would tear the roof off the world. So I really ain't trying to hear none of the ramifications of the situation. There's consequences and there's repercussions. So for every event, there's another one. Okay? So at the end of the day, 5 people went out, 4 people came in. And it was the end for the 5th person. So at the end of the day, sorry y'all. At the end of the day, where the justice gonna come in at? You know what I'm talking about? But shout out to you, Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe it'll get some international publication out. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And it came to the Clear Station. Maybe we'll get something going on. I don't know, though. You know what I'm saying? And with all that, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you see that young light. so that you know it's real. And with all that being said, as the old saying goes, the smoke's gone, I'm gone.